So I think what you're talking about there is so deep and so meaningful. I mean, the first step is recognizing what you want, isn't it? You know, this is what people spend half their lives figuring out. And what you said is this inner peace, isn't it? That's what we all want.
We all want happiness. It doesn't matter who you are.
Happiness.
Who in the
Yeah.
world, even an evil person, in simple terms, no spirituality nonsense. You just want to be happy.
Yep.
Everyone has a different version of happiness, but actually, everyone's different version of happiness there's many ways to that, but it's all about unpacking your trauma, not holding on to stories that are broken. And what you were just about to say, I think, was not focusing on what you don't want. And you learn from that and you focus on what you do
Yep.
want. Don't get stuck on what you
Yep.
don't want. If you're always don't wanting, you're not going to attract what you want, the good things.
Yeah. And I think that's why this our healing retreats that we're planning in the future, that can be such a help to people. The amount of
Yeah.
people now who've got these all these health problems in it. That's the health problems numbers have gone through the roof. Mental health, physical health, and both together, I think. If you could do a nice, relaxing, a couple of week group fast, where you've not only a fast from calories, just drink structured water only. So you fast, but what about a fast from dopamine hits from social media, electronic screens, a fast from the news. Imagine going a couple of weeks. You don't even know if Third World War broke out. We wouldn't even know about it. You got to fast. It's a total detox from everything. And then you reset your baseline, don't you?
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
moment, everybody's baseline for dopamine is way up here. You need so much just to feel a little bit.
Mine
Imagine
included.
if you just reset it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
to stop. That's why in the morning, isn't it, Harry? Don't go look at your phone when you wake up. That just sets your baseline up really high. Just
Yeah.
have a nice, relaxed, chill morning, and then you can slowly check emails and things like messages. Set your baseline, and that applies for everything in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Set your
I
baseline for.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that so my perspective, this is quite a recent perspective and I might be wrong, but I'll just share with you my perspective is that actually most of the world, the people that we call non-woke, most of the world is actually m more mentally healthy than me. Now, I've been through more abuse, more narcissistic abuse growing up. Even my brother was born a psychopath, so I've definitely experienced a lot of trauma and nervous system. So what I feel is most of the world is actually more mentally healthy than me. That's my first deep truth. But also, my second deep truth is that's forced me on a journey where now I learn about nervous system healing. It's forced me into physical health mastery. And so, what I want to say to you is that if in a better world, people, the most of the world, which I think is mentally more healthy than me, imagine if, but I also conversely think they're more physically unhealthy. Most of the world is more physically unhealthy than me and you. And imagine a world where their mental health is okay, but imagine what they could become if they tuned into focusing a little bit on the things that we're talking about and go to those places. Because good mental health plus a massive spike in physical health would change their vibration. They would experience love like they don't even know, like love, peace, and all these things. Me and you are forced into these things because of the things we've grown up to, and that's why we become sacred teachers. We become sacred teachers. We become sacred healers. And I do wonder what the world would look like if most of the people are mentally healthy and they just worked a little bit on the physical health, because the system is
Mm.
designed. There's an attack on mental and physical health, and particularly physical health. There's a big attack on that.
Absolutely. Anybody could be, like you said, the high vibration. Anybody could be, couldn't they? I'm
Anyone.
sure you know people, you've met people who are energy vampires. They suck
Yeah.
your energy. You're exhausted by spinning around them. But they could change that, couldn't they? And I bet you know other people who, because I think you are one of these, but you give energy. You're upbuilding, you're encouraging. You invite Harry, it's like, oh, everybody's upbuilt. That's what we all want
Yeah.
to be, isn't it? You
Yeah. You
give
want to
energy
be.
and you upbuild.
Yeah, and the thing is, I do think there is definitely energy drainers. I think that's tied into narcissism. Nearly all narcissists are energy drainers. I've experienced that.
Yeah.
And but also, I think when I go around the streets and in England, so when I go around the streets, what I see is obviously there's some damaged people like myself out there, and some can be nasty. But what I see predominantly is people that are mentally healthy and they know how to be kind to strangers. They know how to protect themselves to be kind, but they do lack any knowledge or experience with physical health. And I wonder what it could do for them. The people that tend to would go to us in healing retreats tend to be damaged people that want to learn like ourselves. People with an open mind. An open mind can only happen when you've been broken by the system. And a lot of people are too mentally healthy, in some perspective. People are too mentally healthy to be broken to become that wise healer. So how do we get into
Mm.
them? I don't know. I think we're in a stage now where maybe that'll happen in the future, but now we talk to people that are going to watch this YouTube because this YouTube's for everybody. But not everyone is in that bottom pit or on the rise to come
Mm.
up.
Usually, if something goes wrong in it, they have a health scare, or the health goes down, mental health or physical health goes down. Right
Yeah.
now, I've got to do something. It'd be great if you could start doing things before you get there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'd
I
be the
mean,
perfect thing.
those kind of people just don't have any markers for people that are around them that have gone on these sacred healing journeys. They do because they know me and you and others in light workers, if you want to call them. You need markers, and also you need your cognitive dissonance not triggered. Now you can be mentally
Yeah,
healthy, like I think most people are mentally healthy, but it doesn't mean that they are not programmed, because they are programmed. They listen to physical health advice that's nonsense. When you
yeah,
present, even if you're a good friend of theirs, you present information that's different, there's another avenue into that, and that's called cognitive dissonance. If you could somehow force them into a healing retreat against their will, and it heals people only change when they have references of what they can become through being open-minded to what other people become, or
mm,
experiencing a retreat. If you are not sort of open-minded, don't really believe in it, go on a retreat for 2 weeks, your vibration changes. You're a lifelong fan now. You've had the
yeah,
reference experiences. You've had the reference experiences because you live in your body. You are, what's the word for it? You know your frequency, and when your frequency raises a lot, and it does with retreats, and it does with urine, it does with fasting, and all these things, you're like, wow, I've been told my entire life that I need to eat 5 meals a day, and urine's bad for me, and the sunlight's bad for me, and
and
my
take all the
experience.
pills the doctor gives me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then it's like us. Your experience is the real teacher here. You get the knowledge to try, but my urine knowledge and everything I know is from experience. Everything you know is from your own experience. That's what
yeah,
makes it powerful. And the other people need that experience. You need inspiration to try it, and then you need your own experience to stabilize it.
yeah. And learn from others, isn't it? I tell you about my father, Harry. He's in his mid 80s now. He does not take one pill, one medication, no operations, no medical intervention at all from Big Pharma whatsoever.
That's good.
Big
Yeah.
in his mid 80s, got all his teeth, his mid 80s. And I learned from that. And he's had his health problems over the years, but he's dealt with it. If he went to the doctor, oh, take this pill, and then that has done all this damage, take this pill, he'd be on 30 pills now, like most people in their old age, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
teach people to stay natural.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad your dad's found out about that because I think a lot of people in the UK, including my parents, 75, they on quite a few um drugs. And
Most people are in their old age, they're taking some kind of medication, aren't they?
yeah, I've had to
And I'm not
process.
saying,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, sometimes, Harry, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Sometimes it can save your life. Absolutely.
Yes.
Antibiotics, steroids can sometimes be the right thing to take, as long as you know the, the disadvantages. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? The disadvantages are massive, So if you can
Yeah.
avoid them, if you can, isn't it? But it
Yeah,
depends on the
emergency
situation.
definitely I think you agree emergency healthcare has changed the game in a positive way. Do you know about near-death experiences, David? You heard about these?
Not, not really. No.
So now more than ever, since the 1950s, and they made the defibrillator for heart
Yep.
attacks in the 1950s. So since
Yep.
they done that, all of a sudden there's a massive rise in people's near-death experiences because people are now being brought back literally from the dead, and
Right.
people are coming back from these near-death experiences and saying things that I know are true, that there is no separation. They feel peace. God isn't a religion. God is one. That when we actually die, we don't get judged by God as a harsh thing. We do judge ourselves, not harshly, in a space of unconditional love, and we do get a life review. Everyone, when we die, and over many lives and reincarnation, of course, this is not it's a fun place, but it's actually a serious place to try and graduate to go back to love. And the only way to do that is through extreme challenges, which I believe we sign up before we come here. So we get a life review when we die, which you're like, when I say this, it's a quantum computer. So
Hmm.
when you die, you get from your birth, because there's no time in heaven, right? You get from birth to death, you get shown outside time everything that you've done, good and bad, not from judgment, but you get to experience it in a computer. And here's the key. If you've ever done unconsciously bad things, and I don't even know some of the unconscious bad things I've done in my life, but I have, you're going to get shown not just what you done, but you get put inside the body and the soul of the person that you've done something bad to, consciously or unconsciously. So this is like a feedback system to make you want to improve and feel not like super bad, but it makes you realize you've made a few mistakes here. I didn't know I was hurting this person. You get put inside the body of the people you've hurt. So if you're Hitler and Stalin, okay, you're going to be in getting a life review and experience the pain of like, craziness. But if you've ever been mean to somebody or bullied somebody, you'll also get shown those things. And that quantum life review is what I believe happens to every soul, because we don't want to be too super strict of our life, but we did come here to learn and grow. That's what we came here to do. Learn, grow, and be happy. You can't be happy and peaceful unless you learn and grow, and
Mm.
you can't love. Love's a very superficial term, because when I say love, people think it's just like do nice things for people. Yes, but are you doing nice things to people because you want to, or are you doing it because you're to make yourself look better? There's two different types of love. There's a selfish, narcissistic love that is a feeling thing inside you. Narcissists do nice things, but there's also a love where you just want to make a stranger feel good. I want to show love, but the capacity to love is determined by how much trauma, which everyone comes here with trauma. So how much trauma do you unpack? How much? Because if you're blocked in anger and victim mode that we talked earlier, and resentful of men, women, racist, sexist, gayist, transphobist, even transphobist, whatever judgments you put on other people, you are not loving in your thoughts and your minds and actions. Some people are so dark that they do unloving actions, and me and you and me definitely. I have bad thoughts. Like I'm a human. I do judge a fat person sometimes when I'm out and about, and then I think afterwards I shouldn't have. I didn't say anything, but I judged them, right? Because they're different to me. Because
You
I'm
want to
attached
help
to
them,
them.
really, don't you? You want to help them. That's what you feel. I'd love to help you, make your life better.
Yeah. Yes, I'm feeling that, but also I'm feeling the attachment to physical health, and this is who I am. I'm a physical health
Mm.
guy, and you're not. And sometimes it's a lazy reaction to, oh, look at that person. I could easily, what I mean? Yes, but you do want to help them. But if you're
What you
judging,
said then about
yeah,
you said the life review. Isn't it a shame you have to like have your heart stop right at the end? You do that. It'd be great if people could do that midlife, wouldn't it? Let's do a
yeah,
life review and let's learn those lessons now for the
it's
next part of my life.
it's very hard to obviously most people aren't evil, but nearly every person here unconsciously has hurt somebody else, and in a relationship, whether that's bullying when you were younger, whether that's your friends, you said a nasty comment and all these things. So we should be internally every day or every night, and or even after a bad action, you should be thinking, I said something bad, and that's not really who I am, so you should apologize right after, right? um but that I like to think we all do that, and there's a lot of good people. But the way the system's set up by God is whatever evil you've done here on this earth, and good, because it's not all evil, right? You'll get shown what you've done so that you can improve. Because I believe in I don't believe, I know reincarnation's a thing. You just don't remember. So we're trying to improve here. We're growing slowly. And as far as I'm concerned, Dave, it's not just a belief. I think we accelerated our evolution's not real, but soul evolution is. So the soul has improved now. I think after two world wars and all this nonsense, I think we're finally done. We think we've learned enough. The soul of me and you and everyone else has improved. We're now in a place where there's no mass wars. So now the soul, because that's so anti-love, it's ridiculous, right? Killing other people and control. So now we're in a place to grow more spiritually. And look what's happening. Me and you are talking. Facebook is the new age, Dave. The new age is real, very
I
real.
love
There
talking
is
to
a
you
new
about deep things. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I would love, Harry? Imagine this, because I think it's all related to when you do a fast. I 27 days is my record, but that was for quite long for me. Like even a 2 week fast, it all these things come up, don't they? We know, don't we? You've got trauma comes up and things I dealt with. I
yes,
feel bad about this because you're always suppressing it with food. And if you do a long fast, and that's what I want when my healing retreat is built, I want to build 30 pods. Might have 10 or 15 people every now and again, and in the evening, what I find is sitting around a fire looking at the stars. And that's when you really talk. That's when you go to a deeper level, isn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
people start crying, and especially with the fast, it's usually 3 days in or 5 days in, something comes up that you are suppressing, and it's always suppressed it, eating away at you. Now's the time to get it out.
Yeah. I
And
think there's
I
I
don't
think that
think talk to a shrink or anything. Don't go and see a therapist. That's the worst thing you can
yeah.
do. I think, just with good people sitting around a fire doing a fast, and then you could do that life review. I feel bad about this. I've got to sort this out. And you can go and call, if it's a family member or something, call them up. I'm really sorry. I want to say sorry. I want to get over this. You know,
Yeah.
how many people, they haven't talked for years? Isn't it such a shame? A good fast, a
Yeah.
healing retreat, you can get past that.
Yeah. I
Life's too
mean,
short.
my sister, I believe the label is a covert narcissist, but my sister has she's a few years younger than me. She's got a kid. She's quite mature on the outside. Got a nice personality that I've heard from when she talks to my mum. But I want to say that she has disowned me. And this is an example of the family breakups when communication between family members dies down. I also didn't talk to her for many years, but I was going through my own shit. But it is sad when communication between families but I also believe a lot of these events are prearranged by our own souls before we come here. I'm a strong believer in almost all the challenges, your partner, your brother and sister, your mum and dad, your siblings, your enemies, they're kind of all chosen from free will when we come above here. And then, of course, when we come down here, the plan can change a little bit or a lot because we have free will. I can follow my plan I agreed up there, or my life might get too hard and I might do the wrong thing. And then the plan changes. I even believe when you go to sleep that you go back to the heavenly realms and you kind of recalibrate. Okay, you've gone wrong here with the plan, you've gone right, and you just keep moving with the plan. And all the plan is to bring humanity and humans back to unconditional love, which is just two words. And it's in my head, I'm so far from that. I know those two words, they sound brilliant. It sounds like an ideal, but really that is just a feeling. It's just a feeling like when you could probably probably relate when you had your kids. Probably when you had your kids, the first moment there was
Yeah.
a deep experience of being present, blissful, no control, no attachment, just oh, the
Unconditional.
unconditional love. And
Yeah.
that feeling is what God has for everyone here. And the deal he gives with us is you want to come here, and it's very brave. I will give you the opportunities over many lives to unpack the challenges and the trauma to get back to that state. And I'm going to allow you to have children to experience unconditional love. I'm going to allow you to have a partner that you can practice unconditional love. I'm going to have you a best friend. I'm going to give you enemies that betray you so that you can learn about unconditional love. And that's all it is. And also, Dave, that's a feeling, right? But how to access unconditional love a grounded level is just called being present, deeply
Good.
present. And I don't mean like a lot of people think they're present when they're still in their heads. When someone's giving
Mm,
you validation and you're the leader, you're not being present. Being present means sometimes you don't experience it with psychedelics, sometimes you don't experience having children, but you can experience it 24/7. That's the deal here. Jesus, I think, did. I think Jesus, Buddha, and there's people on this earth now, and that's the goal over many, many lifetimes. And God obviously knows that this life is very hard, so that's why we've probably been around the block a few times and grown a tiny bit. But I also believe humanity is at some kind of mass awakening. There's something going on mentally, spiritually, physical health protocols are now breaking free. Oh, and it's
mm,
all spearheaded by one thing, Dave, to me, and that is
mm.
the internet. The internet, 2000, when the internet came along, that's it. I understand the internet has a lot of dark things, but I also know that the internet for my journey has completely transformed my life. Predestiny. It's
How you use it, isn't it? It's like AI, it's how you use it, isn't it? It could
yeah,
have a very dark
and
side, could have a great side.
and
But I tell you
even
what, Harry,
yeah,
you go so fast there, Harry, but
yeah, sorry, yeah,
you go really deep. Some of those things are so deep, and so I want to drill down on what you said
yeah,
about being present, because
mhm,
it's a bit of a new agey sort of thing, new world, new, and I need to work on this, being present now. You know, I think about the future. I'm in my head. No, you should enjoy
very
this
honest.
moment now, isn't it? But yeah, I
Yeah,
need to work on that. Now
it,
you've got
it's
experience with
yeah,
psychedelics. I mean, you said
yes,
it is. Does that help you to? I want to just be present now. Let's just, instead of always thinking about, you're in your head and you think about the future. No, let's enjoy this moment now, isn't it? Wherever you are.
Yeah, I mean,
So
in a simple t you're very self-aware and it's very honest of you because I know a lot of people that couldn't admit the kind of things. You're very reflective like me. But also I know that I'm a long way from that in this lifetime. Maybe I'll make it in this lifetime. But the reason that blocks us is we still have like me and you want it, but the only way to get there is that what I'm trying to say is in our brains, in the subconscious, me and you and everybody carries guilt and shame about things. But get this, because we're good people. It's not like we haven't hurt people. Most of the guilt and shame that's blocking us from being present is things that have happened to us whilst we're victims. One example is as children, because we don't know what went on. I'm not saying your parents weren't loving, but I know mine was very conditional and narcissistic, my dad. So I'm carrying things that are guilt and shame as a kid that I had to try and process, and that's actually blocking me severely being present. And we all carry guilt and shame for things we haven't done. Think about this. When someone you love dies and you replay in your mind, well, if maybe if I just said this thing when they were going through a tough
yeah,
time. Now, that is guilt and shame, right?
yeah,
But the real truth is that that person died. The real truth is people only die. Now, this is a tough for people to try and assimilate, maybe, but you only actually die when your soul mission is complete. So your friend you love died. That was their time to go. You weren't meant to save them. But you were meant when that happened. You were meant to carry guilt and shame and to beat yourself up about it, only to give for God to give you the opportunity to process that subconscious block of guilt and shame and come to peace with the fact that they're gone and actually everything's perfect. Because the real truth is, in any moment in time in the world, since the beginning to the end, the real truth is everything's been perfect. Nothing has ever been wrong, and no one has ever been truly disconnected from God. Now, you can feel disconnected from God, but that doesn't change the fact that God unconditionally loves you because He made you and because everything's perfect. So what I'm trying to say is there's the blocks from the unconditional love is because everyone is carrying guilt and shame. And I include mentally healthy people in that. Mentally healthy people also carry guilt and shame. They just don't have the motivation like us to work on these things or see these things through because their life's just okay. But if mentally healthy people are being honest, they're not walking around present all the time in unconditional love. What unconditional love presence means is when you're walking the streets, you are feeling pure love for everybody like being high all the time. You're feeling love for everybody. Let's be real. Strangers do not feel pure high for everyone. We have to protect ourselves. We're strangers, right? Protect ourselves,
mm,
boundaries. When someone talks to me, I'll be nice. When I talk to someone, but there's an unwritten rule because no one's being present. No one is present. And it's hard. It's really hard to be present. Like,
it is. And you could learn from that. And so that because I've had loved ones who've died, and I wish I'd been better, a better friend. And I wish I'd, yeah, hang on, why didn't I appreciate them when they were here, So then you can think, well, the people who haven't died yet, who are still here, learn from that, isn't it? Let's appreciate our friends.
so
Let's
what you
be
just
there with
said,
them.
so what you just said there, you've learned that you've felt sad when people you loved or friends died. So there's a bit of guilt and shame added to your system, and that's okay. But that recorrected your brain for the next people that you're around to give a bit
Yeah,
more love. So that's how that mechanism you just done has removed unconsciously a bit of the guilt and shame you were carrying about the regrets. Because
good.
I
That's how
heard,
we grow.
check this out. I heard this once on Facebook. You're reminding me.
Mhm.
Anytime you regret anything, all regret is a deviation from unconditional love. So any regrets takes you away from unconditional love. You learn and grow, and then you just keep going in life. Me and you are going to die. We're going to experience loss. We're going to experience heartbreak. We're going to experience pain. The world is full of suffering. Yes, but the suffering has a deep, beautiful meaning that we will find out because I don't believe, Dave, this is our home. This is a sole temporary school, and our home is the oneness, and we will return there. We might not remember that we return there all the time, but that's our real home. This is the place that you get to earn your wings to feel love at home. It's a place of challenge, a place of absence of love. We come here in contrast to experience deep conditional love at best. At worst, not even that, right? And then
Yeah,
we've got
Harry,
to,
I love talking to you about deep things like this. I love it.
yeah,
Imagine if we could do, I'd love to do a fast with you. Like if we could do a healing
yeah.
retreat a couple of days in. If you're like this and we're not even started yet, imagine seeing the deep stuff you'd be talking about.
Yes. Yeah, I did
And
I accidentally did one meal a day a few days ago, but it wasn't even a big meal. And normally I'm
mm,
eating one or two a day. And then what happens for me when I did a mini, I just call it a mini fast, a very small one. But I noticed that at the night time, in a higher vibration state from fasting, my thoughts on what I'm talking to you about now, which are always there, they're always ready to go in my head. But I felt more like a sensitivity of emotions. I was imagining the souls, people's souls when they die, leaving their body in a beautiful way. I wasn't just logically trying to teach anyone. I was feeling internally the systems of God. So what I'm trying to say to you is fasting, even short fast for me, they make me think deeper about important things. And then
yeah,
longer fasts that we
everybody
do.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be on steroids. You'll be like, to use the metaphor, like most people, even if they don't go very deep, a couple of days into a fast, your mental clarity, and then you go deep stuff, you'll be there within one day. So imagine after a couple of days, you'll be on such a deep level. I
Yeah.
love sitting around a fire. I've done a group fast before, and it's something about in the evening, and you overcome cravings. You help each other. I'm going to break my fast. I can't take it anymore. No, come on, we help each other. You just get through that, don't you? Now, this is
Yeah.
what I'm asking you. Do you think, like psychedelics at the start of it, do you think different mushrooms and different, you've got experience, would that really go into a deeper level at an
Y-
earlier stage, speed things up?
Do you mean with fasting or by themselves?
Yeah, both. Imagine when I've got my place built, right, 30 pods, I want to get up to 30 people there. Let's do a 2 week healing retreat fast. Now, we'll be sleeping on bees in the evening and we'll have a fire. We'll go to the beach. It's quite near a beach, So in the summertime, Britain, it's got to be summer. Is it swim in the ocean every day, relax, sunbathe, and come back in the evening, have a fire. It's a really good vibe. I love it's nature's TV, isn't it? You have an outside fire, we're all sitting around the fire talking before we go to sleep. Do you think
Hmm.
iboga or what are the
Yeah.
resets neural pathways? What do you
I,
think?
I definitely know for me,
Psychedelics.
from my own experience and studying it a bit, but mainly my own experience, I think plant medicine has been sent by God to accelerate the evolution of consciousness of humanity. Now, that doesn't
Absolutely.
mean that it doesn't mean that like with internet, there's bad. I mean, obviously, if you're not ready and you take too much, some people can get destroyed by these things. But I think
Right.
overall, and from my own experience, and from every time I do a large mushroom trip, magic mushrooms every time I do a large amount of mushrooms, I go into hell in my mind for a few hours, which is might not sound like I'm promoting it. I go into hell, but what I go into is my subconscious childhood trauma. I go into hell, and every time after that feels like infinity because time collapses in the mushroom world, I come out of it reborn. Every time I get a massive vibration shift, I get a massive personality shift. Um, and actually, I like you know that we all have souls, right? So we all have souls and astral bodies. So when you're traumatized, your soul dislodges from the body. It's supposed to sit in 100%. It's the same size of your body. It's supposed to be 100% aligned. Because of trauma, it's not. And every time I do a mushroom trip or a plant medicine trip, I notice that my soul is just a little bit more grounded and centered and a bit more attached loosely to the body. It's amazing medicine. And it brings up, the mushrooms opens up your mind. The iboga opens up your mind. The ayahuasca, be careful, but it also very powerful.
You've got to have
None of
somebody there experienced, isn't it? I wouldn't want to do it on your own. You need someone you can trust to be there for you, isn't it? If you have a bad
yeah,
trip.
yeah,
But if you
exactly. You
did that
don't,
at the start of imagine at the start of a 2 week fast, you do this neural reset. I think like neural pathways in the brain, isn't it? It's like water running down the mountain. It's run down the mountain for thousands of years, a long time in this one, and you're going to reset that now. You want the water to run a different place, and it's going to be very difficult. It always just wants to go back and run the same way. Now you're going to reset these neural pathways to run a different way. That's you can
yeah,
stop smoking, stop these destructive practices, stop
yes,
toxic, all these different things, and
all
you're
the
going to
addiction.
reset neural pathways. The way I view it with fasting, we know that a lot of people have got like literal crap in them, haven't they? Literal. That's what diverticulitis. It's a pocket of excrement off at the side. It's
Yeah,
crap. It's like literal excrement. Now, and some people have had that for decades. They've done autopsies, haven't they, on some of these famous people? They've had kilos of excrement that could have been there for decades.
Yeah.
Now, that is a literal thing. A fast will detox that. You'll get all of that out of you, and you'll have a clean bowel system. Your intestines will clean it all up. Now, the same with what you're saying, toxic things that you're holding inside you. It's not a physical pocket of crap, it's a
Well,
psychological
emotions
crap,
are
isn't it?
so all the trauma and all this that we all have, like it guess where it holds? It holds in the physical body, trapped. It stays
Yep,
stuck in the
yep,
physical body, not just on the surface level. This body has many levels. So when you do a
yep,
fast, one of the major benefits that I love about fasting is you are now allowing the toxins and the emotions of anger and sadness and bitterness in your body to come up to the surface, which is why people
yep.
say they get sometimes it's not an easy ride with fasting, right? Sometimes you get emotional and angry because you're now allowing for the first time all of that unconscious body trapped trauma to come to the surface. Because one sad but powerful reality is if you want to get to the present moment, if you want to be happy and peaceful, my God, you are gonna go through a lot of pain, emotional pain, because the
Yep.
only way for that pain, the only way from the abuse you suffered, the pain, the guilt, and the shame that you've taken on that's not even your fault, the only way through that is to feel it. And fasting
Get it
and
out of
plant,
you. Yep.
yeah, fasting and plant
Just like
medicine and
the
both really do.
parasites, getting
Yeah.
them all out. Sorry to interrupt you. Like all the parasite cleanse, the liver cleanse, to get it all out of you, it can be unpleasant, can't it? And you've got to
Yeah,
get it all out
it's
of
not
you.
easy.
And
No,
people
no.
fasting 2 or 3 days in, people are crying. I don't know why I'm so upset. Why do I? You've got to get through that, haven't you? And that's why
Yeah.
I think do it all together. We help each other. Look, this is your time. It's coming up now. We'll help you. And you'll be fine in a couple of days, and someone else will go through it. And I can't do this anymore. Yes, you can. We're going to help you. I love the idea of that. We all help each other
Yes.
to
So
be aware of it.
I did say that a lot of people I feel are mentally healthy, but I'm going to caveat that statement. Brought upon by what you said. I also think, Dave, that because people are mentally healthy, emotionally they're mentally weak. I think in society there's a lot of it's pushed by the agenda. So when I say mentally weak, I mean people are scared of doing what me and you have been through, these processes of fasting, plant medicine. I don't go into every big mushroom trip and go and think it's not going to be scary. I put myself through hell because I want to heal. I want to become more present. But with people that are scared of fasting and all these things, wow. I mean, you've got support, you've got other people helping you, but look, no one can save. Me and you can't save. If someone's broken and they say to us they want to heal, we can't save them. We can help them. We can hold their
Only they can
hand,
do it.
but the only way out into your peace as an individual is yourself. And that means you're going to have to go through a lot of pain because at the deepest level, everything is really fucked up. Like, I mean, it's perfect, but there is a lot of pain that you carry from birth that's not your fault. And we just carry it and we carry it, and we're mentally healthy, but we're not happy. We're mentally healthy, but we're
Some
not
people
present.
carry it all the way till they die, their whole life, innit? Just like
Yeah,
diverticulitis. You've got this
yeah.
big pocket full of crap causing you health problems, and people are carrying this thing inside them until they're old. Why not release it? Why not get rid of it? Why not just, I want this out of me.
Because they don't even
Get
know
it
a lot
out
of
of you.
people they have it, right?
Yeah,
They can't see it and they
yep,
don't get it. They don't go and get a colon check. People don't get those things until it's
yep,
too late. And then the awakening happens. You find
yep.
out through a coincidence, which is synchronicity, something's wrong, or you just feel really deeply miserable or suicidal. And then you go, I feel suicidal. I think I'd like to try and be happy. But if you're mentally okay, but you're still not. And another thing is because no one's walking around present, and there are people, but it's like 1 in 1 million or 1 in 10,000. You have no markers for what presence actually is. There might be a being on the bus there might be one being on the bus that is completely present. You might feel this energy, you might feel this unconditional love, but then because you've got your own trauma, you block it out. So you reject that information. You think there's something about him that's different, but you might get pissed off with it. You might not see what is as presence as inspirational because people are brainwashed to think, I'll be happy when I have a load of money. I'll be happy when I have an amazing partner. I'll be happy when I have 2 kids. I'll be happy when I have this job. But what if the person on the bus that has nothing, or relatively nothing. It's just present, and you can feel that energy because it's all frequency here, right? Money is a frequency, but the real frequency is presence. Presence and healing trauma and your happiness is the highest frequency. And happiness, whilst we're all going through our process of seeking happiness externally, me and you know that the only true peace, not happiness, the only true peace happens not from an external source, but from your internal vessel being comfortable and safe enough, you feeling so safe, so pure that you're like, there's no thought anymore. Oh, this is because like the present is stopped because we think we know what things are. I look at this teddy and I'm not present with the teddy because I have a label for it. We start getting labels. We start labeling things. That's what we do to children, right? We teach children communication that sends their vibration down. Children are perfect. And then we teach them from their baby language, we teach them words to help them get by in life. But what that does is it stops a baby being present because now a baby's learning in school what meaning is to get by in this life because hardly anyone's present, right?
That's
But
so true. They're already present.
yeah,
The child has got it, haven't they? Yeah, that's
they
right.
got it.
I'll give you an
And
example of that, Harry. We
yes,
went to
please.
see an old person in hospital, right? And I
Yeah.
said, let's just write her a card. Let's just and I what do I put? And I was writing and my daughter just she didn't I'm not going to influence her at all. She said happy fruit and she drew all this fruit and happy fruit and sent from the and I thought that's beautiful, Alice. I wouldn't have thought of that because she's there, isn't it? The mind of a child is so much better than the mind of an adult in that respect.
Yeah,
And
and it
that was just what this old she had
doesn't need to
happy
be
fruit. Oh, that's
complicated, right?
lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, simple.
she's activating her
Yeah.
creativity, which me and you know, with the school system, they kill creativity and they keep us in the left brain and logic and mind and thoughts and what is everything, identification and label for every single thing in our reality. They say is to keep us safe and to communicate. And yes, that's level one. But the real communication that mine and your souls will move into, not now, in the future, is more and more people are going to be waking up to the present moment. What that means is more and more parents are going to be teaching communication completely different. It won't be words and identification and keeping people trapped in the mind. It will be acknowledgement that the baby holds the highest form of frequency. And parents, most of them don't even realize, I think, that they can learn from their children. I don't know the situation because I'm not a parent, but I know a lot of parents don't think. And actually, the real truth is the baby straight from heaven is the one it's just come from the most pure place. So it's the most pure. And also, Dave, this is
Yeah.
my belief, but I think it's true. So you're the most pure when you come from heaven as a baby, and then you go a little bit away from heaven, you start turning, and then when you die, for most people, if you get an opportunity like an old age thing, a disease, you're closer to God. The struggle is the middle, because in the middle age or my age, you think like you're not at the beginning stage, but you're not at the end. Like think when you're chatting with your friends, internally, I'm like yourself. I have great awareness, so I'm a human. So when I first see my friends, I'm super excited, hugs, high five, and it's all cool. And then the middle part is where we our emotions dip a little bit, we sometimes go silent on each other, sometimes not as excited. And then what happens at the end of a conversation and they're leaving? You generally feel happy again, not because you don't like them, it's because the beginning and the end is the teacher, and the middle is where we struggle with attachment. In the middle, we think it's going to go on forever. And yeah, I don't have to simulate properly what I'm trying to tell you. It's just new stuff that I'm thinking.
No, I know what you're saying. I love it. Yeah. So listen, we've been talking for nearly an hour now. So Harry, this
Yep.
summer 2026, will you be in the UK 2026?
Yes.
You'll
Yep.
still be
Yep.
here in the UK?
Yep.
Good.
Oh,
If could
yep.
you plan, if you want, pencil in, could you do a 2 week fast? Would you do a healing retreat with me in Wales?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd love to come up
Could
to
you
see you
spend
in
two?
Wales
Good,
anytime. I'm going to be back 3 or 4 months every year, and this July,
good.
August, September, October, November next year. I'm off to Bali in March. That's my plan officially.
March. Well, when you get back, I'd love to hear all about Bali. Listen, when you get back, I'm thinking July, August, something like that. I want it to be in a nice warm time of the year. If I can get this place finished by then, I got like 6 months. I'm building these pods now. It's going to be. Do you know what a wallapini is?
No,
An underground. It's going to be an underground greenhouse, underground with 30 pods. They're all hexagons. Looks like a beehive. You see, it looks like a frame in a beehive. And at the back there'll be the millions of bees. We're talking about tens of millions of bees, that'll be right by your head when you're sleeping, but they can't come into the where we are. This will be where we're living here. And if I can get that finished this summer, I want to do at least 30 people, you know,
I'll
it
come.
may be more.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And let's try and do 2 weeks. I think 14-day war